as a political solution to the problem of the Ummah. So they say, well, in order to solve our present crisis, we have to establish an Islamic State. So what you see, like ISIS, not ISIS, ISIS. Please don't confuse that. Because the director of ISIS is here, sitting right there. So the emergence of a movement like ISIS is an evidence of what? Of error and confusion, and also of loss of adab, and of not knowing the right solution to the problem. And it is perhaps the result of the modernist or nationalistic trends among the Muslims. So it seems that the solution to the problem of our community of the Muslims lies not in politics only or in the main, but in managing education. That's why we heard yesterday Dr. Shukri Langpute, who happens to be my former classmate in IAUM, he told us, all of us, he said, after long struggle, military oppositions, not only opposition, it's like attack. Finally, the Thai people, the Thai Muslims, decided that the best solution is to establish a university where you manage the minds of the Muslims. Because when we deal with the minds, then we will be able to solve, inshallah, the problems that comes out of the mindset, out of the setting of the mind, or rather the mis-setting of the mind. So, all misses are problem, misunderstanding, misperception, except Miss Universe. Okay. If we may draw a diagram, so this how it will looks like. Huh? Now, another problem with the modernist thinking is, or rather you can say the salient feature of the modernist is to reject the past, to criticize the ulama, to dismiss the tradition. They say, well, there is nothing in Islam we can be proud of. There is nothing from the past that we can benefit from. There is nothing of what the ulama, our past scholars, have said, have achieved, that can we use today for our purposes. This pessimistic attitude is typically modernist. Why? Because confronting the West, the modern West, the modernity, they are shocked. So they are caught in a dilemma between to follow or not to follow. It is to follow the West or not to follow the West. You see, that's why you have two camps of people among us, among Muslims, those who happily embrace modernity. They say, we want to be modern, and if we want to be modern, we must be like Americans, like Germans, like French, like Italians. So we must have in our country what the Western people have in their countries. So this is one tendency. Another tendency, which is the other horn of the dilemma, is not to follow at all. It is, let us reject modernity. Let us oppose modernity. Let us throw modernity to hell. This negative attitude is also not praiseworthy. So, what I think would be the wise attitude is to be first to be critical of modernity, but also to be appreciative of the tradition. So between embracing modernity and rejecting tradition. To continue the story, Muslims today therefore seem to be confused not only in political realm but also in education, in intellectual realm, meaning what they have learned, what they have gathered, what they have studied, they have collected in their mind is such that the place of everything is turned upside down, or rather messed up. So this is what Professor Naqib Alatas called the state of confusion in the minds of the Muslim. Now, the result of this confusion is all kinds of mistakes and all kinds of misplacement. So when you hear people say everything is relative, nobody knows the truth, this all manifestation of the confusion in the mind. When they say nobody knows the truth except God, hanya Allah yang tahu kebenaran, that is confusion. Pluralism, relativism, all this kind of epistemic attitude, the negative attitude, these are all manifestation, evidence, proofs of confusion. Worse even, now, as a result, many young Muslims are not able to distinguish who is worth following, who is worth listening, who the authorities are. So that's why we have seen, we have witnessed, we know books published in Egypt, for example, titled in Arabic, Jinayatul Imam al-Bukhari, Jinayatul Bukhari, something like that. So, in their mind, those names, those scholars, like we call them Imam, Al-Shafi'i, Al-Bukhari, to them, they are all just human beings. So this is what you call the loss of Adam. Whereas we Muslims, if we have the right mentality as Muslims, we have the right worldview, we know that the Prophet ﷺ said, it is in the preface of Sahih Muslim, Umirna an nunazzilan nasa manazilahum. So everyone has a manzilah, has a position. So not everyone is the same. You see, you are all human beings, but you belong to different places. Why don't you those who are sitting on the back, why don't you come forward and sit there? Because you know you don't belong to that place, to that chair. So everyone has his or her own place. And that place is not only the external place, but also a place in the mind, in the structure of knowledge, in the epistemic system. So this is what you can say very saddening that is happening among us. So we have many people who we may call unasun la yadruna wa la yadruna annahum la yadrun. People who don't know, and yet they don't know that they don't know. They think they know, but actually they don't know. So this is and the result is, you see, people who are challenging, who are rejecting, who are belittling the authority. They don't pay respect to Imam Shafi'i, Imam Al-Ghazali. Now you see people everyone is criticizing everyone. everyone is criticizing everyone. Imam Al-Ghazali is attacked. Who is Imam Al-Ghazali? Al-Ghazali is nothing. He doesn't know hadith. Who is Imam Shafi? Imam Shafi is just, he's just a faqih. He doesn't know hadith. Who knows hadith? Al-Albani. This is confusion. This is a loss of adab. And on the other hand, we see groups of young people, students or even university lecturers, attacking Imam Ash-Shafi'i, attacking the past scholars. So you see, this is what should not happen in an Islamic university. And perhaps or probably this has to do as well with the way we organize our knowledge in the mind, and with the way also we organize our sciences in the university. How many minutes left? 2 minutes. Yeah. I've yet to come to the point. So since there are only 2 minutes left, so 1 minute for Fardu Ain and 1 minute for Fardu Kifayah. Okay? Broadly speaking, we should we should organize, we should arrange, classify the sciences and its manifestation in universities as faculties, departments, into these two broad divisions. That is the division of Fardu Ain and Fardu Kifayah. Now, the problem will arise, when we mix this thing up. So, we appreciate, for example, we give unduly more appreciation to those sciences and also more attention to those sciences which actually would have been sufficient if some only of us have learned it, have studied it. But at the same time, most of us ignore our duty as individuals to study, to know. It is the Fardu Ain sciences, the Fardu Ain knowledge. Now the situation that is arising, that is resulting from this, is the loss of adab. Why? Because we witness around us many people who are very expert, who has, you can say, the plenty of knowledge about one particular field of science or branch of knowledge. But on the other hand, when it comes to religion, he has almost nothing or very little about religion. So he's a child in matters of Fardu Ain, even though he is a full-fledged professor in matters of Fardu Kifayah. And this will be the root of so many problems. That is why, if we rethink the university, I don't know what happened. Let me come to the concluding mark. The mission of an Islamic university, first and foremost, to Islamize the mind, which is the locus of knowledge. Both at the higher and lower levels of education, the core knowledge should be composed of ingredients pertaining to the nature of human being, of knowledge, of religion, of deen, of hikmah, of adl, of justice, of knowing one's place in this world, and of the right action, and also of knowing who Allah is, and also of having sufficient knowledge of the Quran and Sunnah as the sources of the religion, and also of the Prophet. The sciences belonging to this core of knowledge, which is Fardu Ain, should be related to each other and also to Fardu Kifaya sciences and integrated as such into a harmonious unity in the university curriculum, rather than fragmented into separate disciplines, resulting in the distorted vision of truth and reality. So the Fardu Ain sciences must be not just normal kinds of knowledge alongside other disciplines, but must play an architectonic or systematic role in the circle or in the web of sciences. Yesterday, Professor Azhar Arshad, having read my paper, he asked me, so how to implement the idea? What is the practical solution? I said the practical solution is to set up an institution where you teach postgraduate students, where you teach students at postgraduate level. So this is the practical solution. Unfortunately, this institute is gone now, has been closed down. And with the closing down of ISTEC, I close my lecture, I end my lecture. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
We thank very much to Dr. Samsuddin Ali for his very valuable speech. And the next, we invite Dr. Yasmin Hanani from UC Malaysia to present in only 20 minutes. Okay, yes.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهد الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له ولن تجد له وليا مرشدا أما بعد. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you very much to the Dr. Moderator, Director, all the lecturers and all the audience for our second day of CET today. I am Yasmin Hanani from University Science Islam Malaysia, and I come from Faculty Sharia and Law, Kuliah Sharia wal Qanun. For today, we are very honored because we already listened to just now two wonderful presentation, explaining about the needs of integrating Aqli and Naqli and also contemporary and also classical Islamic and also sciences in the modern world. For my presentation today, I would like to focus on the integration of Aqli and Naqli and integration of contemporary and also Islamic knowledge in the field of Sharia by highlighting the contribution of Yusuf al-Qaradawi. Yusuf al-Qaradawi, as we know, he is not only prominent, he is what we can say as a preeminent Muslim scholar. This paper will analyze. I already supplied my paper, and you can refer to my full paper. This paper actually will analyze the contribution of Allama Yusuf Qaradawi to the religion, especially in the field of Sharia and Fiqh, in the integration of contemporary and traditional Islamic knowledge. According to Yusuf Qaradawi, being a Sharia scholar, being a Muslim scholar, it is not only sufficient for a Sharia scholar, for the ulama, for the mufti, to already knowledgeable in terms of traditional knowledge, but he or she must be well versed in contemporary knowledge as well. Before that, we can know that Yusuf Qaradawi's active role in disseminating the knowledge of Sharia began since he was 17 years old. He preached in the Friday sermon in the city of Pondok. His major work, or we can say that as a major treatise, including the lawful and prohibited in Islam, Al-Halal wal-Haram fil Islam, Fiqh al-Zakah, based on his PhD thesis, Fiqh Minority, actually have greatly contributed to the progress of Fiqh Mu'asir. And with these three treatises putting him as one of the most influential Muslim in the world. However, he is not free from criticism. Right, so, but we can see, okay, this is his background. He was born in Nile Delta village, Egypt, and he is actually influenced by the teaching of Hassan al-Banna, and he the most influential leader of Muslim Brotherhood at that time. Although he was imprisoned several times and lived in exile for years in Qatar, and he actually was branded on, as has been called, as the rising star of the future Egyptian Khomeini and Muslim Pope. Why? Because during the Arab Spring in 2011, he gave a sermon in this Tahrir Square and Telegraph and also Jerusalem Post. Okay, call him as Muslim Pope. Oh, this is me. Sorry. Okay, the Muslim Pope. All right. And in Jerusalem Post in 2011, February 21st, call him as Egypt gets his Khomeini. Okay, this is what the press call him. So, what is his methodology in fiqh? Most importantly, in integrating both contemporary and classical, he has called for manhaj wasat. What is manhaj wasat? I will explain later. And secondly, founder of Century School of Islamic Thought, and he actually condemns both religious extremism, what we call as mutashaddidin, and also mutasahilin, both religious extremism and religious neglect. This is what we call as liberalist, and also he labeled as modern Zohiri. I will give you some case study after this. And in the midst of pluralism, we have lots of madhab, fiqh, so on and so forth. He always called for unity. There is no harm if you want to follow certain madhab, but there is no madhab superior than other. Because of what? In the concept of ijtihad, we know that al-ijtihad la yanqidu bil-ijtihad, the first. And the concept of ismah. What is ismah? Ismah means the concept of infallibility is only for the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam himself. And we must know, in faith, khilaf is inevitable. But some people say, because I'm a Sharia advisor in Islamic financial institution, the industry, the halal industry, the banking industry, they keep complaining. We are very confused with all this fatwa. The fatwa is contradicting. This bank say it is halal, this bank say it is haram. So how come we want to improve, we want to improvise our Islamic financial system? But we must know that when we want to address the current situation, khilaf in faith is inevitable. Yeah? As long as it is not goes beyond the textual evidence and it does not harm the society. But this is what the people or the society or even the industry, they do not understand. So they call for harmonization and the unity in fatwa, which is, in my humble opinion, is inevitable or impossible. So what are the responsibility of modern jurists in order to integrate between classical and also contemporary knowledge? First, the scholar must exercise true ijtihad. Excuse me, I repeat, true ijtihad. What is true ijtihad? True ijtihad doesn't mean you copy and paste like all the students do. I believe not in this university. But ijtihad means yahtaj ila juhd. Ma ma'na juhd? That means exercise real ijtihad. Your effort, read all the classical books. But what Qaradawi said, all the great scholars, the earliest great scholars has left legacy, great legacy to us. But sadly, as our previous presenter said, modern society today, they fail, I repeat, to to acknowledge the ulama, because of it, who is this Ghazali, who is this Shafi'i, because of what? They lack in knowledge in classical texts. So according to Yusuf Qaradawi, to become a strong and also prominent Muslim scholar, we must understand real nusus, not only Quran and Hadith, but the fiqh legacy text. This is in area of fiqh. Secondly, a jurist cannot set him or herself free from turos. Oh, what is this turos? We don't need turos. You read the hashiyah, you read the text. No, we don't need this. We need fast and furious fatwa. In this, the first presenter just now, they said, we live with Facebook, so on and so forth. Every time the bank called me, the industry called me, I need fatwa, doctor. Please, within 2 seconds. Hello? I am not a dictionary or I'm not an encyclopedia. Fatwa, it is not like mathematics, 1 + 1 is 2. Hello? I need to read all the evidences. I need to read all the turas. Otherwise, I'll become a zalim to the knowledge. That is what I told the industry, but they fail to understand. Okay, I already discussed the concept of isma. So when we discuss about the concept of isma, okay, for example, in Malaysia we have 14 states. So we have different mufti. So sometimes the follower of this mufti, they like to, mufti A say it is haram, mufti B say it is halal. So they tend to, make controversial issue between the mufti. But we know ijtihad la yanqidu bil ijtihad. Mufti with his fatwa is okay, and we know Malaysia has their own fatwa and Indonesia has their own fatwa, and we respect each other. This is what we fail to achieve today. Not only in the institution, but especially in the society. Oh, because I'm the follower of Shafi'i and you are the follower of Hanafi, so we cannot pray together. No, it is wrong. So let us teach and also inculcate the budaya of tolerating each other, as long as it is not Shia. And also, what Yusuf Qaradawi said about taqlid. Taqlid is okay if you are not knowledgeable, if you are not alim, you are not ulama. But when you are in that position, especially in this position, not me, okay, you have to exercise your own ijtihad. My supervisor, who happened to be a non-Muslim, he is experts in usul fiqh and Shia. He said that what we lack today in Muslim society is the lack of true ijtihad. Okay, so this is what we need. Okay, to inculcate the nature of ijtihad is a very serious matter, and it is not a laughing issue. But Yusuf Qaradawi said, although the requirement of ijtihad is very strict, but it is not the hindrance for Muslim to exercise ijtihad. You and I believe, when I come to this beautiful university, I believe not only the teacher, but the student, inshallah, can become a real mujtahid. Because this is our challenge today, inshallah. And so, this is what Yusuf Qaradawi. I keep seeing my face. Where's my... Okay. So, he has reminded us, don't follow the liberal. Okay, and also between liberalists and also the strict follower of textual evidence, it will become a hazardous issue. I give you 2 examples. In my paper, a lot of examples I give you. What does modern Zohiri do in modern days? For example, in the issue of fiat money. According to this Zohiri modernists, okay, what they call as dinarists, they said riba, there is no riba in fiat money, in rupiah, in ringgit, or otherwise, because ribawi item, only gold and dinar only is regarded as ribawi item. So, according to Yusuf Qaradawi, this Zohiri modern, because they read the evidence explicitly without understanding the real meaning of riba. This is the first issue. The second issue of liberal, how the liberal interpret the nusus when they say Islam allow the marriage between Muslim men with mar'ah kitabiyah or women of the book. They said that so we can do qiyas, and then meaning that a Muslim woman can marry a people of the book. This is a qiyas fasid. Okay, so I don't know where they do their Sharia degree. So this is the challenges between the strict interpretation of the text and also the liberalism I already discussed. So can a Muslim jurist exercise ijtihad? Yes, Yusuf Qaradawi said. Yusuf Qaradawi said, in the past time we have to travel at least 2 months to get one authentic hadith. But nowadays you just use this, and then you get Shama'il, you get PDF Shamil, you get everything in just one click, and then you can do your own tahqiq. So what is your excuse to not to exercise ijtihad? Excuse me. So how khilaf happen? Actually, this is very technical issue. Khilaf happen to make the society understand, because the dalil we can divide it into two: zoniyah subut and zoniyah dalalah. Zoniyah subut ala sabil misal fi mas'alah qira'ati Fatihah fi salah. Because the hadith is hadith ahad, so this is the different interpretation between the mazhab. And what is zoniyah dalalah? Zoniyah dalalah happens a lot because the interpretation, the differences in interpreting the text. For example, in case of wudu, okay, aula mastumun nisa, what is the explanation, or even how you want to perform wudu. For example, whether between Shia and also between Al-Sunnah wal Jama'ah, whether you just wipe your shoes or you have to wash your feet. Okay, that's very lengthy fiqhi issue. So this also my example on ijtihad tarjihi intiqai and also ijtihad insya'i ibda'i. I would like to go to the most important point, which is in integrating both classical and also contemporary knowledge. Mujtahid or Muslim scholars, they normally easily falls into these 4 errors. First, because the abandonment of nusus due to ignorance, sometimes the ignorance, and due to carelessness. They just don't know the nusus exists in the text. And secondly, abandonment of ijma and qiyas, ijma of ulama. Thirdly, qiyas fasid, the example I give you just now. And finally, ignorance about the reality of the society. This is very important, ignorance of the reality of the society. What I can give you, for example, in the case of duration, the length of mother's pregnancy. Okay, the fuqaha said the maximum is 4 years. In today modern medicine knowledge, 4 years actually you are not pregnant. I think you can pregnant 4 or 5 times. So in the advance of modern technology, the medicine and also the scientific research has proven that human female normally will bear the children about 9 months and 10 days, not more than that. But during those times, because the experiment is based on istiqra'i, is based on observation, so there must be some little differences, especially in matter of women's menstrual periods, and also rutubatul mar'ah, and a lot of things that we need to review. And this is my case study. I give you case abandonment of nusus, abandonment of ijma ulama, qiyas fasid, ignorance of the reality. For example, al-khamru. Okay, I travel a lot, especially in Western country, and even the Arab. When we had dinner, they don't eat pork. Okay, but when they were served by white and red wine, they will ask for the wine, because they said because beer is not prohibited, only wine, al-khamru. So this is very wrong. Okay, and I think you already have experience when you meet some of the Arab, but not. I don't know whether they are all actually Sharia scholars, but they dream. But so I think it is something that, and even my supervisor, they said, wow, how can they don't eat pork but they still drink? Right. So, to conclude, okay, it can be concluded that intellectual rigor, okay, so many critics actually they praise Yusuf Qaradawi because his skill mastery skill in nusus, Quran, hadith, and all the textual evidence. But he also received intellectual appraisal and apart from criticism. He strongly proposed knowledge integration between contemporary and Islamic knowledge that is very vital for the Ummah. In the progress of integration, he strongly advocates for ijtihad and tajdid, renewal in religious matter that is flexible in nature. We must understand what is flexible and what is not in fiqh and also sharia issue. So he has proposed to adopt ijtihad tarjihi intiqai and also ijtihad insya'i ibda'i. So his remarkable contribution in sharia and fiqh has been acknowledged by all scholars in Muslim world, and finally sharia must be understood as a way of life and we should provide answer. Why? Because Islam must provide answer. Without soluble or workable solution or answer, so we fail to become a good alternative for the people. And inshallah, we as a Muslim society, we should picture Islam as rahmatan lil alamin. With that, aqulu qawli hadha wa astaghfirullah azim wa lakum. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you, Dr. Yasmin Hanan, for this very valuable speech. And since our time is very limited, so the next speaker, Dr. Arkom Kuswanjono from Gajah Mada University, will present his paper in 20 minutes. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillah, wassallallahu ala haula wala quwwata illa billah. Ladies and gentlemen, actually I'm nervous to talk at this podium because I'm not from Islamic university. I come from secular university. Gajah Mada University. As you know that Gajah Mada is not Muslim, but this may be Hindu. But actually, I'm very interested in the theme of integration between religion and science. Actually, I have research about this, and maybe I can share about my my result of my research. Okay. Actually, I'm sorry that maybe there is a miscommunication between
I and the committee. The committee said to me that you want to me to talk about integration, science and religion and science in Gajah Mada University, and it's I remember what he said, but after I saw the list, the schedule that I have to talk about model integration of contemporary and Islamic knowledge. I think it's different. My paper and with my presentation here. I'm sorry about this. Okay. We know that there is Ian Barber here. He said that he want to make a typology of integration between science and religion. He said that there are four typology: first, conflict, independence, dialogue, and integration. You see that if in the West history of science, there is the era, the Dark Age, as I think you know, that religion is very, very strong, and there is the statement ancilla theologia, that science has to be a servant of religion. And you know, for a long time, West in the Dark Age, and after, you know, that there is a Renaissance, there is a Descartes, for example, he is a rationalist. Before that, you know that there is Copernicus and Galileo Galilei. You find that he tried to see that what religion said is wrong. There is a theory of heliocentric and geocentric, as you know that. Geocentric means say that Earth is the center of the universe. But after Galileo Galilei and Copernicus tried to make a research about our universe, that Earth is not the center of the universe, but Sun is the center of the universe. So there is a conflict about religion and science. We cannot accept two statements from religion and science at the same time. So for a long time, religion and science is separate. Yeah. Until now, maybe in the West, there is a problem. They have a problem about religion and science. But Ian Barber tried to make a typology, and after that, they see that there is the change to make integration between religion and science. Conflict, the first typology. The second, independence. Independence means that religion and science cannot is supposed to not to conflict, yeah. But if science and religion have the put in the place, because be put in each place, because science and religion have a different language, different methodology, different truth, for example. So if there is no relation between religion and science, it will be a good, because there is a conflict here. There is independent, according to Ian Barber. But the problem is, if we, for example, we are a scientist, and also in the same time, we are a believers of religion. So I think it can be confused, because there is two truths that we have to accept. So independent cannot solve the problem, relation between science and religion. So there is a third typology, dialogue, that religion cannot, religion needs science, also science needs religion. For example, if you want to know about apa was lemak babi in me, for example, I think ulama need science to make a research about is there a lemak babi or not. I don't know lemak babi in English. Yeah. Actually, that religion need science. Also, science need religion, because sometimes science cannot understand about everything in the earth, everything in the universe, for example. So Jan Berber also see there is a fourth typology that is integration. That religion and science actually is in our human, in the nature of human. Actually, we cannot spirit religion and science, and actually integration here we have to know that there is God, there is a supernatural that in supernatural all truth is the truth. The supernatural is the source of the truth, and we are the makhluk from God. Actually, integration is the fourth typology, idealistic typology according to Jan Berber. But actually, also there is a John Hoth. John Hoth, if I'm not false, that he is an astronomist. He also gave our make typology relation between science and religion. I think, yeah, quite same. Conflict, independence, dialogue and integration according to Jan Berber, and John Hoth make a different word with 4C: conflict, contrast, and confirmation. Okay, I'm not so different, I think, but John Hoth say in the confirmation that religion actually needs science, science also needs religion, and actually religion can learn from science, science also can learn from religion. For example, religion can, maybe a fatwa, for example, fatwa can be changed because they see the result of science, for example. As you know, in Indonesia, there's a KB, keluarga berencana, for example. Yeah, there is a change. Maybe the last time, ulama said that we cannot receive KB, but after the sign of society, for example, or population, that we need the KB because we have to arrange the population in movie country. So there is the fatwa can change because we learn from science. That's John Hoth says about confirmation. And Islamic expertise that we know that Naquib Alatas, as maybe the speaker said about this, and Al-Faruqi, for example, they try to offer the concept of Islamization of science. The first, you see that there is a westernization of science. Actually, if we talk about paradigm, all science that we learn now is use the positivistic paradigm. In the positive paradigm, they just see the rational and empirical truth. As you know that if talk about the religion is very, very difficult to make experiment. But for example, God, angel, heaven, then for example. So, in the perspective of positivism paradigm, religion we cannot receive the religion because we do not measure the truth with rational and empirical. And also, Naquib Alatas see about the secularization, we need the desecularization of science because in the West, you know, for example, air, with secularization, with scientism, we try to separate religion with religion, and also they want to change religion with science. You think that we do not need religion, we need science. So we have to change religion with science, for example. This is the secularization. So Naquib Alatas Al-Faruqi see about this and try to make a desecularization of science and also with Islamization of science. In Gajah Mada University, we have Kunto Wijoyo. he is professor in cultural studies. He tried to see Islamization in the different side. He also say about the need that we have to make integration between religion and science, but they want to see another side, and there is the conception of maybe not Islamization actually, according to Gontor Wijoyo, but scientification of Islam. We do not need Islamization of knowledge, because actually knowledge is actually Muslim, actually is Islam. But we need knowledgeization or scientification of Islam. Islam as a science here. Islam not as ideology. So if you see the conception of Gontor Wijoyo, there is the step of or the typology of our Islamic believers. The first mythos, he said that sometimes Islam, Muslim, just believe as a dogma, for example. Just believe as a dogma. But in other typology, Islam is ideology. So you know that there is so many harassment, for example, in our religion, because put religion as an ideology here. But Gontor Wijoyo offer to give conception about Islamization, not Islamization, and scientification of knowledge. Actually, Islam has to be a knowledge. How to be a knowledge? The first, we need integration. Integration means actually we cannot avoid Western science. Actually, with Western science is not science is science. Actually, there is no problem in science. The problem is how to see the sign. The problem is paradigm of the sign. Is sign from Allah? Is theological term, or sign from human anthropological perspective? But we just see that science, there is a problem of science, but the problem of the how to see the sign. So integration, we need Western science, and also we have to see Quran Hadith to see, and because Quran Hadith also the source of science, and we have to make integration between science from Western and Islamic knowledge. The second, objectification. Objectification means that Islam has to objective. Islam, Quran, Hadith not belong to Islam, Muslim, but Islam is for rahmatal alamin. If you want to be Islam as a rahmatul alamin, we have to make objectification of Islam. So after Islam is not belong to Muslim, but belong to all human, Islam will be a rahmatul alamin. So we need objectification here. The third, humanization. As you see that now maybe there is a dehumanization of science. He also say liberalization. Liberalization, not liberalism. It's different with liberalism. Liberalization means that we have to open our mind to see Islam as a science here. We can see Islam the many perspectives of science, and also transcendentation. Transcendentation means that the source of science actually not from human, but from Allah, from God. This is the conception of Gontor Wijoyo. Also in UIN, Universitas Islam Negeri Sunan Kalijaga, we know Amin Abdullah, Professor Amin Abdullah. He tried to make integration too, with integration, interconnection with the speeder of science. Speeder web of science. Speeder web of science. In the center, there is a Quran and Hadith. From Quran Hadith, trying to expand, to develop everything, to develop a science here. So Guntawijaya and Amin Abdullah criticized Islamization of knowledge from Naqib Alatas. Naqib Alatas begin from context to text, but Guntawijaya and Amin Abdullah try to start from text to context. This is differences, but actually in the methodology, I think not so different. But the perspective to see Quran is not the end, but the first. Yeah. And I want to say about my research about philosophical perspective of integration. Because actually I'm from Faculty of Philosophy Gajah Mada University. I try to see in the perspective of philosophy. The first I see the ontological structure of religion and science. That there is a God existence here, imaginal existence, and human's existence. I try to derive from Mula Sadra conception about wujud. That you see that there is a hierarchy of wujud. Taskik al-wujud. Yeah. There's a God's existence, imaginal existence, and human existence. Also, we can see the knowledge here. There is the hierarchy wujud too. God's knowledge, imaginal knowledge, human's knowledge. There is a relation between the existence and knowledge here. There is a relation between knowledge and existence. The truth of science and religion depend on the ontological structure here. If there is a conflict about science and religion, actually in the bottom structure, human existence here, because a relative truth in human existence or human knowledge here, and so we have to try to know to up our knowledge and our existence, how to make we close with God. If we close with God, the analogies look like light. If we close with light, we will have so much light. Yeah. But if we far from light, we cannot receive the light. So, if we want to a good scientist, we have to try to close to God, because God is the source of knowledge. Tuhan akan mengangkat derajat orang beriman dan berilmu berapa derajat. Ini saya nggak ngerti ayatnya karena dari ultra sekuler tadi. Anda yang sangat paham akan hal itu. But I know about this. Epistemological structure of religion and science. There is science and religion. Actually, science use ratio and sense, yeah, empiric. And religion use intuition and revelation, but actually there is a integration between ratio, sense, and intuition or revelation. But actually there is a remain. Science have to remain the place to intuition and revelation. Also, religion has to remain ratio and sense in their place. Actually, science cannot totally rational and empirical, intuition and revelation, because it's difficult if science has to totally rational, empirical, intuition and revelation. Maybe if my laptop have a problem, we have to open Quran. I think we cannot find how to solve my problem, my computer problem. So actually, if we want to see the computer with our rational and empiric, we have to remain there is intuition and revelation here to be a perspective. And also ontological, epistemological, and axiological structure between religion and science. You see that there is a God values, imaginal values, human values here. That in human values, maybe there is a contradiction. There is the problem, conflict. For example, in in fatwa, for example, the first fatwa said it is haram, another may be halal. But actually this is in human values, in human existence, in human, I'm sorry, not existence, but human knowledge. But we have to see up. Yeah. It's not ending of the truth, but human truth is very relative. We have to try to find absolute truth from them. Okay, I think enough. Maybe just introduction to see about the model of integration between religion and science and contemporary and Islamic knowledge. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam. Thank you very much, Dr. Arkom from Kacamata University, for this very valuable speech. And finally, still two speakers more. Dr. Asap Gunawan from University of Agriculture, Bogor.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. First, I would like to thank the moderator for inviting us for a speaker, and then thank you for the rector and also vice rector, lecturer, and also to all organizing committee and also to participant. Okay, in this opportunity, actually, I would like to speak because my background is not from Islamic University. Actually, we are a farmer from Bogor Agriculture University, but some people make a joke. IPB can also the abbreviation of Institute Pesantren Bogor. Some people also can say Institute Perbankan Bogor. Institute, and people say now the motto is we try to improve. So we are competent in everything, especially in agriculture. So in this moment, actually, I would like to speak more practice because my background is not Islamic. I'm a molecular biology, and the other side also because I'm a head of a dormitory in Bogor Agriculture University. So that's why maybe I would like to share my knowledge about what the activity doing in dormitory of Bogor Agriculture University. Of course, we make a relation with the title about system integration, intellectual, spiritual, mental, and moral development in Islamic University campus. So if we see in the slide, this is the dome in my university. Actually, this is not so very new like in Gontor, but we try to implement what is the program which we offer since 2003. Actually, the simple things, what we would like to adopt or what we would like to get when the students come to or enter Bogor Agriculture University, Since 2003, actually, all the students for the first year is obligatory stay in dormitory. This is the reason what many other factors actually, because I think like also in Gontor, we are the student come from many or several regions broad in Indonesia. It's from multi-ethnic and multicultural, and also with also different also religion. So in total, the first year student in agriculture in Bogor Agriculture University, we have 3,700. So among them, 700 or around that is non-Muslim. But we try to implement what the system of integration intellectual, spiritual, mental, moral, and development model. So actually, this is the simple. We would like to, in the final, after 1 year in dorm, the student have a 10 characteristic like this. The first is, of course, fear to Allah, or maybe in our Islamic taqwa to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. This is the more important, or number one, because this is the foundation. Yeah. Without this good knowledge and also implementation by Islam, so it's very dangerous for a student. And the second, honest, polite, and well-mannered. So this may be from all the presenter also with the globalization, with the science and technology. So of course, maybe this from year to year, of course, is different from the characteristic or from the attitude, yeah, because of this influence from the westernization or everything. So we are from the East culture, yeah. We must have a specific, yeah, with this is characteristics from Islam: honest, polite, and well-mannered. And the third, physical and spiritual health, of course, because not only spiritual, yeah, this is also physical, or maybe we call in Arabic is jasmani. So it's very important because many assignment, very busy student sometimes didn't care about this health or maybe this physical. And also the other characteristic is broad minds. So we hope more get knowledge not only from his science or his competence, but all kind of student can have other knowledge from soft skill, yeah, from language, yeah, English or maybe Arabic. Hopefully, in the later we can get learning from this Arabic. And also five. Also, we hope, yeah, our student can have a productive and achievement. And this is very important. Yeah, can manage, yeah, and the time, and also with all the potential, with all the background which come from many potential, hope can good performance or achievement. The other, number 6, is tolerant and able to control themselves. So this is also we try to give to the student, yeah, because from other characteristic, other culture, this is very important. The other, discipline and responsible, we try also to implement in a program in dormitory and then regularly in all method, independent life, because now sometimes, yeah, it's very difficult to separate with parent or family. So from this when we put in dormitory, yeah, we hope it can be a good learning how to live independent and also can be able to cooperate with others. Because maybe in her or in his parents, they're living in single room, but in dormitory they can share with others. And the last, care and beneficial for others. Of course, yeah, the good people, Rasulullah say, is many beneficial for others, or good manfaat to other people. So that's why we offer the program with the name Academic Multicultural Development Program, or in Indonesian language we call PPAMB, Program Akademik dan Multibudaya, we call in bahasa. So this program actually we derive from 10 characteristics which we hope in the final, after stay in the dormitory, they have 10 characters like that. So this is our vision, creating conducive atmosphere for intellectual, characteristic, soft skill, solidarity development as university student for continuing this nation, and also understanding diversities. And with this vision, we try to implement with the mission, organizing co-curricular, and extracurricular. Besides, with the main focus of academic, we create after academic activity, we offer the program which is mainly or conduct in dormitory. And then second, growing the spirit of teamwork and competence with the main concept of growing together. So this is the important. So with the purpose, creating have good, like I said before, this is the implementation of 10 characteristics, having high morality and having achievement, and creating student empathy, this is also important, and also adapting well with various social conditions. And the third, increasing the creativity, because students have a higher energy. So if we try to make a focus for a good purpose, I think this is become what is a potential which we can achieve a good purpose. So actually this is the data which we can solve actually with dorm. After dorm, the student put in the dorm, it is more better, especially in here we measure for the academic potency. So for the GPA, before the dorm separate, people not obligatory stay in the dormitory, the IPK, or we call GPA, is relatively low. But after dormitory, we put in the, or maybe obligatory, since 2003, so almost the achievement of GPA for average our student is increased. Because in that we make a facility, everything close to the classroom and everything, and also we offer a program which is can interact between each other. So they can share what maybe they have a difficulty or everything, because with the same level or the same letting, this can more easy to interact compared to with maybe a senior if they put not in the dormitory. So the good, in last year we get the average GPA is 3.12. This is I think a small good for. So from 10 characteristics, we try to derive in three pillars, in three type of program. The first, we have a mental and spiritual program, and then academic and knowledge achievement, and then the third, we have try to increase the knowledge our student with soft skill and also social care. So from this we make more detail in many actually several activity and very many activity you can say. For example, in this academic and knowledge, so we have some kind of this activity. Yeah, this is which is my focus in academic counseling, which is they have not good in some subject, so we try to push or to endorse with the tutorial and several program which is can increase to the academic. Yeah, and also we have also this academic because our background is agriculture subject. So we try to introduce from the early or from the first year the activity which is main focus in agriculture. Yeah, we try to introduce from first year. This is like activity which we do. Yeah, from the academic and knowledge, we try to introduce we have many subjects: animal husbandry, agriculture, and also forestry, marine science. We try to introduce for because otherwise in the first year it's not yet come to the faculty. So this is the activity, maybe in bahasa, and soft skill and social care. So we also implement many program, like for the entrepreneurship, green dormitory, and also leadership training, which is very important. Yeah, besides the academic capability. This is also still soft skill development from other variety or from the other region. We try to make what is inventories, which potency, which is good and contribute to our university. This is the social care. Students not only live in the campus, but they have also surrounding in the campus. Yeah, how they can make a empowerment and community development. This is really important to make a good example how to throw disposal or the garbage, how to clean the river and everything, and other program which we create related with the people. And the last is mental and spiritual. So this is very important. We try to give also the basic knowledge Islam, for all our students. Like we have a mentoring, we have a BBQ, Bina Baca Quran. We try to implement, to give teaching and everything. So this the activity which is related to mental and spiritual development. So in our regulation, because this is obligatory, so who living in dormitory in the final, they have also some achievement like we get from the university, like transcript or the certificate. So from this we evaluate and then we make a grade and then we give the certificate in the accumulation of 1 year duration. So in final, we have this showing student attendance in any program. Of course, this is obligatory, which we offer the program, and then we evaluate. We make evaluation, yeah, every year, which one is not attend or which one is apology and everything. And in the year evaluation program, they have achievement index. So this is some kind of example which we implement to our students. This is like a transcript, and then this is like the certificate. So I think this is what I would like to share. Implementation of the topic, which we offer more to practices which we are doing in Bogor Agricultural University. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Dr. Asep, for this valuable speech. And finally, we come into the sixth speaker, Dr. Muhammad Fadli Marhusen from USIM, Malaysia. We remind you, Dr. Shota is better. Yes.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Thank you to the respected moderator, to honorable rectors, deputy rectors, professors, doctors, lecturers, and students, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Before we begin, I try to establish the context of my presentation. I already submit my paper, the detail you always can read. So to begin with, I'd like to play this short video. So saya berhenti di sini saja. I stop this video. If you really enjoy with the video, you can always watch in YouTube. Okay, my paper is entitled The Game Theory Based on Trust Model on Legacy-Based Secrecy Management. I'm from computer science background, computer security. My research is on cyber security, basically. So in USIM, it's very hard to have integrations of Nakli and Nakli project if you really focus on computer security, so computer people need to go out so that cross discipline can be made possible. So basically, this project is under collaboration with Ustaz Zahari bin Mahad Musa. He's an expert in Mawaris, and Dr. Azman bin Abdul Rahman. They are from Faculty of Sharia and Law. I'm from Faculty of Science and Technology, Computer Programming. Okay, my name is Muhammad Fazli Marusin. So basically, we have secrets. Everybody has secrets. But if you never tell anybody else, and if you die, no one can know the secret. Okay? If you die, you assume all that God and people know. God will forgive you. No. Okay, we have this word, kullu nafsin za'iqatul maut wa nabluwakum bisyarri wal khairi fitnah wa ilayna turja'un. Okay, every soul will taste death, and we test you with evil and good as trial, and to us you will be returned. And in another ayah in Surah Yasin, Inna nahnu nuhyil mauta wa naktubu ma qaddamu wa atharahum wa kulla shay'in ahsaynahu fi imamin mubin. Indeed, it is we who bring the dead to life and record what they have put forth and what they have left behind, and all things will be enumerated in a clear register. So these are example of warning Allah already put in the Quran. Okay, the reality is that we have lots of secrets. If we super rich, we got lots of money, and we perhaps do not intend to tell to our daughter and our sons. If we tell them, they might ask us to buy a university rather than asking we ask them to study. They will ask us to buy a university in return. They don't want to study, perhaps, if we super rich. So it's better that we tell half of it. If we're really poor, then we might want to keep our secret. We do not want to tell even to our spouse how much we owe to banks, to whoever around us. In the sense that we want to keep, we want to make sure they still have the sense of respect. Okay. We have nowadays in the ICT we have lots of username and password we keep, and lots of information we have in the email, in the Dropbox, and etc. If we die, can you imagine what happened to this information? It could be a great loss if you can't really pass to your son and your daughter. Okay. If you are a businessman, perhaps you have trade secret. You have patent information. It will die together with you. Nowadays we die not only on a bed. Okay, sometimes we die in accident. Okay, heart stroke, for example. We can't expect when we die nowadays. Okay, so problem in the past is that family have no access to those secrets, even though it is really important. It takes time for them to gather the information back. Risk of being lost or stolen if we keep the information to trustees only. We can't really guarantee how trustable trust is. Okay, stolen, forgotten, and etc. These are the risks. Okay, your family might be finding themselves difficult to survive. They might be conflicting on assets. Stolen by caretakers nominees. In Malaysia, we really have a national problem. In a few years in the past, unresolved assets in Amanah Raya, an institution and a government agency managing the unclaimed asset worth 42 billion. Okay, with existing agencies put in place. Without these agencies put in place, might be the billions come to trillions instead. So, some researchers claim that it is because of the negative attitude of the family and distrust, making the resolutions of this asset quite difficult. It could be possible to resolve this if we hand over the information to trustees, to our trustees, to the one who we really trust that they can help to resolve our debt, our distribution of asset and whatnot. Okay, so option in the past, we die and information lost unhindered, and if we have some sort of awareness, we might engage with the lawyer. Okay, but it's limited to land, to building, and etc., but not information such as patent data, business trade, recipe, how to cook, for example. You know how to run a restaurant, but if you die, your son might not be able to sell anymore because the taste could be different. Okay, so you might write on a piece of paper, but this secret might not really secure. Somebody might steal the piece of paper. And we have also sort of time lock safe. Okay, if you put your secret there, your money or whatever inside this box, but this box might be stolen too. Okay, this box, it is very special in the sense that if you want to open it, you have to wait for a period of time. Say, for example, you set for 10 minutes and you want to open it now, only after 10 minutes it will be unlocked. Okay, if you set 1 day, only after 1 day it will be unlocked. So that's the thing. This is the technology we have. Okay, in USIM, I lead this project called under the initiative of FARAISIS.org. We developed for this presentation, we try to establish contact on the title of iLegacy, FARAIS. We have this secrecy management framework embedded into iLegacy system. FARAIS calculator inside also get embedded. It has also mobile apps. We also establish a training module for FARAIS. And also iLegacy. iLegacy is the module about how you can learn how to use this system, the iLegacy system under FARAIS.org. Okay, the uniqueness of iLegacy is that you can keep everything. Okay, you can keep everything, not only worldly matters. So how actually this system works? This system works by having you as an account owner register yourself, and you declare all your secrets there in the system, and you will set a preferred protection period, for example 10 days or 100 days. It's up to you to decide, and you appoint trustees, and I think these trustees will alert these people, noting you will tell them that they are appointed as trustees, and if the account holder die, they can visit the system and can unlock get the secret after the preferred protection period already elapsed. Okay, so if I set 10 days, for example, these trustees can get access to my secret after I die, and after 10 days upon triggering the secrets recovery. Okay, so it kind of, if you, I try to give you some glimpse on what in the system. So trustees will click this initiate button in the trustees page, and this countdown will get initiated. If 10 days, then it will start from 10 days, 9 days. Every day, user will get alert, get notified about the 10th of opening the secrets. So if I still alive, then I have enough time to stop the access. If I already in the graveyard, I don't have internet, unfortunately, to stop the secret from being unlocked. Okay, we use this time mechanism to protect and to unprotect it once we already die. Okay, so we have trustees, we have account holders, the account holder appoint trustees, and we have here the system. So if trustees try to view, the controller will alert the account holder, and the account holder can deny the access. Okay. So we have this training system, FARAIS inside, since the system manages asset, manage debt. So asset minus debt will come up with a total amount of value for FARAIS distribution. Okay, now I go to the context of this paper. It's about game theory. What is game theory? Game theory actually is a mathematical model that studies the decision process rationally based on weighted gains or losses, visualized either in an extensive tree-based form or a normal base form of players versus payoff matrix. You can Wikipedia about this game theory. It's quite easy to understand. So here we try to model on the willingness of these people, of two families, for example, whether they want to declare their secret in the system or not. What actually motivates them to declare their secret? Because if they don't declare their secret, their asset, some other sibling might not get as the far right distribution. The wife, for example, if I die, my wife might not tell others, hey, I have piece of land here and there. Okay, so if trustees never know about this information, my wife might simply hide this asset, so never get distributed through far right. So it is really important to have this mechanism and the secrecy framework, so that trustees can justly distribute all the assets to those who really qualify to receive. In our work, we use game theory to intuitively state the relationship between owners and their trustees in normal form. They create the account as owners and appoint their trustees. Assumption by trustees is that owners always declare their secret. Trustees do not know whether the owner does really declare the secret fully or not, even when the time lock countdown elapses. Okay? So, being a selfish, the person, the owner will gain one, and if he hides the secret, but if the other owner, okay, hides two, both family will only monopolize any asset within the very close inner circle, okay, within spouse and children only. Hence, net value would be neutralized to zero, as the earlier will not directly or indirectly get the wealth of the later. So I formulate this using game theory. So this is the representation where bx plus by is equal to bx. This is for x, and for y it can be generalized that by equal to by plus bx. Who is x, who is y? X is brother x, and who is y is brother y. There are two brothers involved here, who will use the ILGC system to store their secret. Both actually do not know whether each other really declare the secret in the system or not. Okay, the stolen or lost risk, X will lose one if he hides the secret, but Y hides the secret too, it will minus one, so both will cost two deductions of 1 point. The net value would be minus 2. So basically, this is the representations of stolen lost risk. Okay, this is the formula. And if both parties hide their secret, it could be disaster. So based on the table 1 payoff matrix, several scenario in the family wealth and returns cases are as the following. For example, here I give the example, a very simple example. The detailed example you can read in the paper. Okay. So if both declare nothing, then no value, 0, 0. There are chances for both wealth loss or being stolen by nominees should they die without disclosing their secret. So benefit, this is risk. Okay. The risk for brother X, which is based on B and R just now, is something like this. Okay. So the best yield is only if both parties really declare their secrets. Only then the benefit can be justly received by those who really should receive that portion. And here is the payoff metric for benefit versus risk analysis. This is the standard kind of calculation in game theory. You can see and you can investigate later for further analysis, and I think this is one of the potential research topic also for master's degree. Okay, the payoff metric for benefit versus risk analysis is that if both really declare their secret, risk and benefit is really high. Okay, for for and for both parties. So here in this example, I just demonstrate the relationship between two people, brother X and brother Y. In the reality, the distributions of asset involve not two, usually many people, more than 10 perhaps. Okay. So my conclusion is another 1 minute. So this framework is a trust model, especially management framework metric used to quantify the effect of mutual trust, partial trust, and distrust relationship. We use benefit versus risk as factor, future work factor that lead to trust and distrust could be enhanced, can be investigated by any person and can be elaborated further. Okay, we have another 10 seconds. Perhaps I can show you here some of the Faraid calculator here. If you enter husband, grandfather, mother, and female in the system, then we have, for example, here Akdaria. It can show up the different calculation. Okay, the different calculations. Some for Mazhab Shafi'i also, for example, it follows Zaid calculation standard. So from this website, user can learn the reason behind such calculation. Why these people earn half, why the other earn 1/3, for example. You always can read here. And good thing about this calculator is that you can put as many as you want, and then you calculate, and then you can see the final denominator. Rather than using manual technique, it's really time consuming to calculate. Okay, you can see here the denominator could be up to 384, 84. It's quite time consuming to write on a piece of paper. I think for those who really learn Islamic economics, Mawaris topic, using ICT could enhance their understanding much better. Okay, I think that's all. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Markusan from USM Malaysia. Dear participants of today's discussion, our time is still 10 minutes more, and I'm here not in capacity to conclude the speech of every speaker. Only there are at least some points to note. That number one is the need of integration of modern science and Islamic knowledge is very significant. Number two is the nature of integration. The nature of integration is very serious. It is like serious invasion. It is like serious war between the science and religion. It is like a serious war between modern civilization and Islamic culture. It is like very serious war between a scientist and a theologian. Fail to undertake this integration, it will influence every individual and the society. And there will be a problem of modern life. The modern science cannot solve the modern problem of life. And on the other side, the religion alone also cannot solve the problem of modern life. The science and religions must go side by side to solve the modern problem of life. Now, next point is that the implementation of this integration is very clear. It must be from all dimensions of knowledge and sciences. We still remember the value of Gontor, that science without religion is blind, and religion without science is lame. So science and religion must go side by side in order to solve the modern problem. Even we still remember the idea of our founding father when he said that every santri Gontor must be in the next, after graduation from Gontor, to be ulama yang intelek, not intelek yang tahu agama. Every one of us to be a scholar, to be a theologian, scientific theologian, and not otherwise only become the scientists who know little on the religion. Dear participants of the today discussion, we still have 5 minutes. We give you an opportunity to ask a question. 2 persons in this very limited time. You please, before you ask a question, mention your name and then from where, from which university, and your question is forwarded to which speaker. I'm sorry to say that Dr. Yasmin is leaving for Yogyakarta because of flight to Kuala Lumpur is waiting her. So we have to say sorry. She is saying sorry to every one of you not to join up to the end of this meeting. So now please, yeah. Okay, please, we give the opportunity to the first with his hand, mention your name, and please forward to whom is to explain the question. Yes.
My name is Hisham Ataya. I come from Jakarta and I study at Informatic Engineering at University of Dar es Salaam. I have 2 questions. I face first to Mr. Dr. Shamsuddin Arif. The question is, I thought that the extremists are those who do not understand fully between Turath and modernity. So what must we do to make our brother extremists understand and keep the balance between them? Also, just now you say that we, for the solution for the problem in your paper, we must build an institution like ISTAC. But that's for institution, impossible we build such institution in our rooms. So what must we do in personally to make ourselves balance between Turath and modernity? And the second question is for Mr. Dr. Marhussein. I want to ask about today's cyber world. What do you think, sir, about an organization like CIA or WikiLeaks who open the secret of other country for the reason that they said good? Only that. Thank you. Salam.
The first question is to Dr. Shamsuddin Arif, please, in 2 minutes.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Thank you for the question. Concerning the problem of extremism, well, extremism itself is not new. It's not a new phenomenon. It's been there for a very long time. In the Quran, this is called ghulu. Extremism can be political, but can also be religious. So it's an attitude, it's a mental attitude, it's an outlook, mental outlook. You know, the way a person looks, understand, and interpret, and in turn act accordingly. Extremism is never allowed actually, because in the Quran you read, ya ahlal kitab, qul ya ahlal kitab la taghlu fi dinikum. It is a ghulu. So what we are supposed to do instead is, as you said just now, to maintain a balance. It is a balanced view, and this balanced view can only be acquired through a sufficient knowledge. So the solution to extremism is none other than education. That's why you must educate yourself. We have to educate our brothers, our sisters, our family members. So we must increase our knowledge. So we must, in other words, we must learn and learn and learn. That's why never stop learning, and never keep your level of knowledge, let's say at the elementary level or at the intermediate, but you must advance in knowledge. So this is why we said it is fine, it is alright, and it is encouraged, of course. For you, you said you study information technology. To be expert in IT is fine, it is alright. But your knowledge of your religion must also increase. You must make sure that your knowledge of your religion will not stop at the elementary level. It must increase alongside your knowledge of IT. That will stop you from being extremist, inshallah. Okay, and to the next question, I hope our institution of higher education, that is UNIDA, now is opening the doctorate program. That will be a practical solution to the problem of extremism, inshallah. Thank you.
The next is Dr. Marcus.
So I just want to add up the point Dr. already mentioned. Knowledge that we gain is not simply for grade, not simply for you to get A, to get pass, and whatnot. It's something that for you to make sure it would be useful for others. And if you strive for that, inshallah, you can control that kind of extremism would be something that you can eradicate. So, to answer to answer your question you posted to me just now, it's about something related to whether it's good CIA or open secret of other people or other countries. Okay, it depends who you are. If you are on the good side, you might find that that revelation is very useful for yourself, for your organization, for your country. If you are on the accused side, you might find that this revelation is very painful, hurtful, it tarnishes your reputation. If you are leaders of organization or country, tarnishing reputations of your organization or country. So it depends. So that's why in ICT, what's really important, is that if you keep your information online, make sure you implement all security measures. It's better that you put all the information offline fully, if really top secret, never connected to computer network, because we do not know what are things embedded in the ICT infrastructure. And if you really want to put it online, why not you put it partial truth, half truth, some information that you and your organization or your stakeholder really can get benefit from, but not others. And in the other category is that if you really want to put it online fully, you must make sure that nobody really cares about the information. Or you have the competitiveness. You declare the information, and you are even faster than those really get the benefit from the information you put online. Okay? So, because in the current age, I think we can't really avoid from using ICT, because ICT is a vehicle for transformation. In line with Surah Al-Asr, وَعَصْرِ إِنَّ الْإِنسَانَ لَفِي خُسْرٍ إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالْحَقِّ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالصَّبْرِ. Demi masa sesungguhnya manusia itu dalam kerugian, melainkan jika kita itu beramal soleh, melaksanakan tugas dengan penuh ketepatan kebenaran. Kalau dalam konteks zaman sekarang ni ada komputer tapi tak guna, lambatlah hasil kerja, itu maksudnya tak benar, tak tepat. Jadi kita barangkali terjatuh dalam kategori orang-orang yang rugi dalam aspek masa. Saya rasa itu saja saya simpulkan.
Thank you very much, Dr. Markosan. Dear participants, ladies and gentlemen, our time is over, but we request at the end of our meeting, Prof. Mujara Harjo to please give some concluding remarks for our discussion. Thank you.
Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My brother, Dr. Jatun. Yes, I would like to wrap up our discussion this morning. This is a very wonderful discussion, seeing Islam from different perspectives and from different fields of study. Psychology, philosophy, agriculture, and Islamic studies. I'm from linguistics, especially the sociology of language, and computer science. Excellent. But then, what is Islam? Islam is not only a religion of ritual activity. Islam is a complete religion that teaches its followers for all aspects of human life. So, I would like to state that Muslims should be smart to face the world's problems I said earlier. In any field, in agriculture, in economics, in psychology, in technology, whatever. So there should be Muslims who are working on agriculture. Otherwise, they will be taken by non-Muslim people. What's wrong with that? So to my perspective, and in Malang, all scientific knowledge is Islamic. As long as it is for the benefit of human being and does not against the values of Islamic teaching. So everybody is ulama. What's wrong with that? If we are master in mathematics, in biology, in any other fields, and we will know the mystery of our creation in this world. That's why through this ayah, our appreciate those who have knowledge and put higher standard. Because through knowledge, we can pick up and know the mystery behind creation. That's one. Secondly, thank you. Secondly, let's see, in the world today, according to the last statistic, there are 7 billion people living, 7 billion manusia. And the number of Muslims is 1.5 billion, 25%. And Indonesia contributes to 200 million Muslims people, that is around 13% of the Muslim population. The question is, do Muslims give contribution to human world civilization today? No. Why not? We are not smart. Because we are handicapped by three problems: poverty, kemiskinan, backwardness, keterbelakangan, and number one, last one is stupidity, kebodohan. Those three things must be solved together. And the only way to do that is not by giving money to poor people, but give them best education. And Unida is one of the best education. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, finally, we come to the end of our meeting today. We invite you, please, to appreciate every speaker today. 5 speakers by giving applause the way we are going to speak. Thank you very much, Dr. Professor Mujiana Harjo, Dr. Samsudin Arif, Dr. Asad Gunawan, Dr. Arkom, and also Dr. Marhusa. We close our meeting by reciting Hamdalah. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Nashkuru jazila syukri al mutakallimin al muqarin al muhsaramin. Wa min samahati mudiril barnamaj wal mutakallimina al-qu'ud ila amkinatihim wal wuqufiha. Sayyidati wa sadati, tu'linu lajnatul munazzamah li hadhil mu'tamadid dawli i'lanan. Kami dari panitia SEPI menyediakan coffee break yang bertempat di depan ruangan ini dan diharapkan bagi para peserta muktamar untuk datang kembali ke tempat ini pada jam 11.20. Al-Ikhtitam, khitaman li hadzal barnamaj qira'atu hamdalah. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.